Today we're going to discuss some hot topics on Kyrie Irving and Antonio Brown. Excuse me. There's some things that people have different opinions on about this situation. So we're going to break it down. And who other than the Ricko Gaither to get everything straight and let everybody know how it is. What's going on, my brother?
What's up, big bro? Another great, beautiful day, man. Blessed to be alive, man. With the family and everything, man. Again, thank you for having me on, man. How you doing, man? How's everything?
Oh, it's lovely, man. It's lovely.
Good,
Can't
man.
complain at
Good.
all.
Yeah, heard y'all got some snow up there, man.
Man, it was serious, man. It
Yeah,
was serious. You know, I know we've had this discussion before.
yeah,
Snow is different when you're older.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Word.
When you're
Yes.
younger, it's like, a ton of fun.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you get older, it's like,
Uh,
man, if I slip and fall, man,
right,
I might not get up for 3 hours or something right now.
right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, and when you get older, man, when you slip and fall, your falls are more dramatic than they were as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Because as a kid, you slip and fall, it's just over quick. But as an adult, when you slip and fall, you just bam.
Hey, you grab for stuff ain't there. You like, oh Lord, something please just come out the sky. Just be there for me right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So what you got going on, man? What you got going on?
Man, everything is good, man. Just been working on some things, man, and just following your lead because we've had talks about this really for about the last year and a half. Since this whole COVID thing has been going on about starting up a podcast and all this and that, man. And again, man, I salute you for being the first to step on out there, to go ahead and do it. So I've decided finally to stop letting, and this is a motivational speech for all of those that are listening, stop letting fear drive me, but let faith drive me instead. So I have decided that I am going to start up my own podcast as well. I have the name and everything. I just don't have the date yet when we're going to do the first episode, but I promise we will let everybody know. And, we're going to talk about sports, community, relationships, family, God, us, all different topics. We're not just going to channel down, one lane, man. We're going to be open, very open, man. And it's going to be the pure uncut. I'm going to make a lot of people upset. I know that. It's not my intentions, but I'm going to speak from the heart. And, we're going to go with it from there, man.
That's
Yeah.
great, man. That's
Yes,
great.
sir. Yeah. So
I
I
know.
definitely appreciate you as my brother by stepping on out there, man, and taking that lead, man, for real.
No problem, man.
Yeah.
It's always love.
Yeah.
Always
For sure.
love.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
hey, and I know your podcast is going to be, always on point because you're going to bring that fire content, and I
Appreciate that, man.
understand your motivation, and I know it's going to come from the heart.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. I appreciate that, man. You know what I'm saying? For real. Because man, the thing about us as black men, man, we are too busy. I'm not gonna say this is the thing for all of us, but in our community as black men, we are too busy. It's no such thing as friendly competition anymore. It is competition to cut you and stab you in the back. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
friendly competition makes everybody better. You know what I'm saying? Because they say that iron sharpens iron. You know what I'm saying? So, man, just you do it from the heart, man, but you also want those that are around you to, do the same thing or doing things better because you want to make yourself better. So that's the whole goal of this. You know what I'm saying? So any way that my voice can uplift somebody, whether it be to make them laugh, make it be to make them cry, whether it be to cuss me out, it's all good, man, because at least I'm doing something.
For sure, man.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
For sure.
for real, for real.
For
So
sure.
what's been good with you, man? What you got today? Let's talk, baby.
All right, man. Hey, and to my viewers, of course, if you like what you're hearing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. But we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk about Kyrie, man. So, what do you think with the whole situation? I know we've had discussions about his status on COVID, but here's where I want to bring this conversation
Okay.
because I know a lot of people talk about his right not to take the COVID shot, and it is his right. We've discussed
Hmm.
that many times. It's his right,
Hmm.
but does he have? I guess let me phrase it like this, okay? Is Kyrie being selfish, a selfish teammate by not taking the shot? And here's why I say that. It's his choice not to take the shot,
Hmm.
but as a teammate, him going back and forth on a team, knowing that it will mess with the chemistry and with everything they are doing, should he just take a step back and say, hey, look, this is my decision. I understand that I made this decision, and Brooklyn, you go ahead and move forward without me.
Okay. Well, let me say this. Let me. I'm gonna start it before I answer the question. I'm just gonna let all the viewers know so everybody will understand that I'm not sitting here trying to walk on some type of high horse. When the whole COVID vaccination situation, not only the vaccination, but when the whole COVID pandemic came out and when they started talking about a vaccine, I was against getting vaccinated. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't know how it's going to affect me. But so everybody will know I, myself, my wife, my daughter, my father in law, everyone here in our house, we are all fully vaccinated, right? What changed my mind was the fact that I wanted to go see in March of last year. Me and my wife, while we was out looking for properties, we wanted to go visit my parents. We were in Atlanta, and I wanted to go visit my parents in Alabama, 2 hours away. My dad told me that if I was not vaccinated, I was not stepping foot in his house because my dad, had dealt with a medical issue that he almost died from, and he was like, he ain't trying to die no time soon. So I had to think hard about that because I had to realize that, hey, it's a good chance I may not ever be able to hug my dad again because this COVID situation ain't going nowhere no time soon. So I had to make the determination on, hey, do I just want to make it about me or do I want to be able to see my mom and my dad again and not at a funeral, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I went ahead and I got the vaccine. I talked to my wife. My wife was against the vaccination. My wife was against all vaccinations. But, with our grandchildren that were born, my wife wanted to go see our grandchildren. So she made the determination I need to go get vaccinated, right? My daughter was against it, but when it was time for her to go back to school, she made the determination I need to go get vaccinated. My father in law, the same thing. So I just want everybody to know that first. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to be a hypocrite. So in Kyrie's situation, I can't blame Kyrie for the decisions that has been made lately. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because when Kyrie came out and told everybody, his stance has not changed. Kyrie said, I do not feel comfortable with getting vaccinated, right? His stance ain't changed at all. Now, I was one of the people that was saying, and Nick, you know this. I was one of the people that was saying, let's see if Kyrie gonna stand strong to that because money is money, right? And you know how rich people stay rich, they don't turn down money, right? So, but then when Brooklyn came out and said, okay, Kyrie is not going to be able to play until he get the vaccination, it is what it is. Kyrie stood firm in his decision, right? So now, as the season is going on and guys are getting injured, and KD is playing way too many minutes, especially for
Sure.
somebody coming off of a ACL tear. What is it? A year and a half, maybe. I don't even think it's been a full 2 seasons yet.
It was his Achilles, right?
Yeah, his Achilles. I don't even think it's been a full 2 seasons yet. I think this makes the second season that he's coming off of that tear, right?
Mhm.
KD is playing way too many minutes. You can't really depend on James Harden because James Harden is either the groin, it's either the hamstring, it's either the weight, right? So he's in and out the lineup. Brooklyn put this team together to win a championship. So they said, you know what? We're going to cave in and we're going to say, Kyrie, you can come play at every game that's not at the Barclays Center or at Madison Square Garden, right? But here is the issue where I think Kyrie is being a little bit selfish. So, Nick, you're Kyrie, right? I'm the backup. Now I'm vaccinated. I'm coming to practice. I'm doing everything. I understand that I'm not you. I'm not Kyrie Irving, right? That's why I'm the backup. That's why I come off the bench after you. But how fair is that to me? I'm here every day. I've been here for training camp. I've did everything that's been asked of me. But then when we go on the road, when we play down in Atlanta, Kyrie gonna fly in. He's gonna ball out, right? But then the next night, when we're in New York, we got to go to play the Knicks. Now everybody's looking at me, and here you go. The ball is back in your hand. See, that's messing up my rhythm too. Because see, I gotta feed my family. I gotta eat too. I may be on a 1-year deal. This is my 1 year to show other teams in the league, hey, this dude has potential starter in it, or he's going to be a career backup, right? I'm not making $35 million like Kyrie is making. I'm only making 600,000. So, that's why I think the whole little selfish part is coming into it. But again, a lot of the owners, if you ask me a percentage, I would say 80% of the situation now in the current that we're talking about now, this all falls back on management. Because see, management, if you're going to say he's not going to play until he gets vaccinated, you've got to be willing to stand firm with that and say, hey, it is what it is. Kyrie made the decision not to get vaccinated. So we're going to honor his decision and we're going to continue to move forward.
That's a good take. I
Mhm.
agree with everything you said, and I'll add a little bit more. I just want to add this before I go into that. The whole COVID situation. That's another topic that we going to deep dive into.
Yeah.
Definitely, because I think a lot of people need to hear, different takes on that as well.
Hmm.
And again, we've had this discussion about the COVID shot and, vaccinated versus non-vaccinated,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
pros and the cons. And like you said
Yeah.
in the beginning,
Hmm.
I think we all were on the fence, like, wait a minute, man, well, I'm not sure about it. But we'll dig into that later on and have a full discussion about that because the
Okay.
people need to hear it.
Yeah.
But going back to Kyrie, definitely. In my eyes, I do believe he's being selfish. I
Okay.
really do. Uh, you can't expect, to make a decision without consequences, and that's what's happening.
Hmm.
He's getting this cake and eating it too,
Hmm.
but he's also affecting other people on the team. Like you just pointed out, you may have somebody on the team who's coming to practice every day doing, everything right, and then he's still getting kicked to the back of the line.
Hmm.
Hey, in sports, it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
If you're talented and you could, fill those seats, you're gonna basically be able to get away with pretty much anything. Pretty
Hmm.
much anything.
Hmm.
So with that being said, we're going to transition into AB. All
Oh
right,
God.
AB.
Uh, okay.
So we definitely got to spend a little bit more time on this one, man. I just want to hit that one real quick. We're going to really get a clear analysis on this situation. Okay, so
Okay.
so the people can get a lot of perspectives on it.
Hmm.
Okay, so AB, everybody know the situation, right?
Hmm.
If you don't know, we about to, educate you on this guy. AB, outstanding receiver, man. Sixth round draft pick out of Central Michigan, right?
Hmm.
Miami native, comes into the league, gets drafted by Pittsburgh, and he's blazing the league. The dude had a problem in Pittsburgh. You know, he goes to what? The Raiders.
No, he went to the Raiders.
Yeah,
Yep.
goes to the Raiders.
Hmm.
Have a problem with them. Then he goes to
Hmm.
the Patriots.
Hmm.
Have a problem with the Patriots. Then he ends up with Tom Brady, which
Mhm.
leads into the situation with him walking off the field.
Okay.
Right. So I want to discuss AB from beginning to end, and I want to start with, we know AB was outstanding receiver when he came in. So what you think his what caused his downfall? Because a lot of people are saying, he has mental health issues, which we need to address because we have different stances on that.
Mhm.
A lot of people just say he's just plain out dumb.
Mhm.
So let's dig into it. What's your thoughts?
So this is really gonna. I know that for your viewers and everything, and everybody watching the show and everybody listening, I'm really gonna have some people that's really gonna get upset at me for what I'm about to say. And again, I appreciate all the feedback, positive and negative, right? I'm a very thick skinned person, and I do not mean to offend anybody with anything I'm about to say. No, I'm not going to go all out of bounds and say ridiculous stuff. That's not me. But I'm just going to say this. I do not, if I offend you with what I'm about to say next, I truly apologize because that's not my intentions, right? So, this whole thing about AB, first things first, so when you talk about when you just look at, when you sit back and you look at everything from the time he started to until we really started to know who, and when he went from basically Antonio Brown to AB, right? When you look at all of that, the problem is this: talent has allowed AB to be coddled. I'm gonna say that again for your viewers so everybody understand what I'm saying. Talent has allowed AB to be coddled. And what I'm saying is this: AB was in Pittsburgh, right? For the longest period of time, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I know, I want to say easily for about maybe a 3 to 4 or 5 year stint. AB led the league in targets. He led the league in receptions. He led the league in touchdowns. So all of a sudden, here's this guy with a great smile, by the way, right? With a great smile, right? Here's this guy that went from Antonio Brown to AB. Endorsement deals are ringing in, right? Pizza Hut, he was on the cover of Madden. You see him on all these different commercials and everything. Why? Because of his production on the field. His quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, was making sure that the ball, that AB would get his targets, right? The head coach in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin. I love Mike Tomlin to death. But it was some things that AB did in Pittsburgh, right? That basically, again, his talent allowed him to be coddled. So he was able to get away with stuff. So, Nick, you and I, we're parents, right? So if our child, we tell our children, don't do this, don't do this, right? They decided they're going to do it anyway. Now, when it comes down time to discipline, we look the other way because of the fact that we love our child so much, right? What's
Mm-hmm.
going to happen as that child grow up and get older and older and older? All of a sudden, more entitlement is going to come. You can't tell that child nothing then when they 21 years old, 22 years old. When they 30 years old, you can't tell them nothing because it's like, hey, you've allowed me to do whatever it is I wanted to do all this time, but you have rewarded me instead of disciplining me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's a story, and all this is alleged, but it was a story that one time in practice when he was in Pittsburgh, AB brought his social media team with him to practice, right? So his social media team can record him making catches, making cuts, doing all this work. Mike Tomlin didn't say anything. Then we all know about the incident in Pittsburgh during the playoff game when they beat Kansas City, right? And AB gets on Facebook Live in the locker room while his head coach is addressing the team. AB is sitting back in his locker on Facebook Live in the dressing room. And you hear Mike Tomlin saying, Mike Tomlin is being the head coach. He's saying things that should have stayed in that locker room. The very next week, what happened? Mike Tomlin gets up here, press conference. He's very stern with the media. He talks that stern talk. He says what he needs to say. AB was not disciplined. AB started in that playoff game in the AFC Championship game against New England, which they lost, by the way. Right? Very next season, you come on in. The same thing. AB is getting his money, though. He's getting his money. See, we rewarded bad behavior, right? With not punishment, not discipline, but rewards. I'm not saying that he didn't earn the money, but you also got to be careful when you start talking about guaranteed money and contract lingo inside of NFL contracts, because we all know the only guaranteed money in the NFL contracts is your signing bonuses, and that's pretty much about it, right? Unless if they make the contract completely guaranteed.
Yeah.
So then time go on. People forget AB's exit out of Pittsburgh. The last time AB stepped out there on Heinz Field wearing purple and gold, black and gold for Pittsburgh. AB shows up. It's the last game of the season. He shows up to the field wearing a fur. And he basically didn't say anything to anybody. He's late, right? Yes, sir. He showed up wearing his chinchilla like, what's happening? Looking like Joe Namath on the sideline from back in the day when Joe Namath was the first one to rock the chinchilla back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
He shows up, and they're like, AB, why are you not in uniform? We got a game in like 30 minutes. Oh, I'm injured. I ain't playing today. Now, back up from that, earlier that week, AB threw a football at some of the coaches and some other players. They sent him home, right? Mm-hmm. So then he shows up on Sunday of game day, I ain't playing. So then that's when finally, I guess Mike Tomlin had enough and said, you know what? Enough is enough. Go to the locker room. What does AB do? He leave and go home. He's out. So then they get rid of him. Then he goes to the Raiders. Then he goes, off season, once again, everything is all good. Remember, business is booming. Keep that in the back of y'all mind, listeners, because I'm going to come back to that. Business is booming, right? So then he goes out there to the Raiders. They sign him. Now, the GM for the Raiders, Mike Mayock, he didn't want to sign him, but John Gruden did. Oh, he's a great football player, this and that, yada, yada, yada. So then while doing the offseason, AB goes to that, that hyperbaric chamber, that crypto chamber or whatever.
Yeah.
It is like negative whatever degrees inside there. Why are you stepping inside that chamber with nothing on your feet? Right? So then he has frostbite, extreme frostbite on the bottom of his feet. His feet and his hands are his money makers, correct?
That's correct.
Right? So then who does he blame? He doesn't take the blame for that. He tries to sue the company and the equipment for what happened to his feet. That's like me trying to sue God for walking out there in a snowstorm barefooted. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So then after that, he gets into it with the NFL over a helmet. Why did he get into it with the NFL over a helmet? Because the NFL sent out a memorandum earlier that year and said, hey, these type of helmets will no longer be allowed because the NFL is tired of kicking out money for concussions. So they're trying to protect the players more. AB was the only one that had a problem with it because Tom Brady wore that same type helmet. Aaron Rodgers wore that same type helmet. They complied. AB was the only one. What did AB say in his interviews? I'm gonna make them play by my rules. I'm not gonna play by theirs.
Okay.
Right? So then the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, they get tired of his shenanigans. So what do? They release him. Then you see the video when AB gets released, right? He's running out the back of his house with the camera phone. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. So then what do the New England Patriots do? They come to Tom Brady and they say, hey, should we go get him? Brady's like, yeah, I can win with this guy. Brady's trying to win another Super Bowl. That's the only reason why these teams are signing Antonio Brown, because, hey, he can help us win a Super Bowl. So they think, right? So he goes to New England. Everything is all good. He's scoring. He's on time. He's doing everything. Then that sexual assault situation came out. That report came out, right? So then when the Patriots said, nah, we're not standing for that, we're going to let you go. What does he do? Hey, he's going to blast Bob Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, for Bob Kraft's situation that was going on. Like, okay, so you're going to put this man on blast for that, right? But we all know that there was a difference in the two situations. I ain't even going to go down that road, but we know it was a difference between AB alleged situation and Robert Kraft's alleged situation, right? Two totally different things. Then guess what happens? Last year, right? Tampa Bay, they signed him. For the record, Bruce Arians said he did not want Antonio Brown because Bruce Arians was on Pittsburgh's staff. He saw Antonio Brown go from Antonio Brown to AB. He did not like it. He said he's not a fit. But Bruce Arians caved in. Why? Because they signed Tom Brady for what? To win a Super Bowl. So you got to go all in. Brady said, bring him up here. I can make it work. They signed him. But in his contract was nothing. His contract was incentive laced. Think about that. Somebody that put up all these great numbers, you sign him to an incentive laced contract. That means we know that you're going to act up, right? But if you act up, you ain't going to get this money, or we're going to go on and get rid of it. So Antonio Brown does what he always does. He's going to come in. Everything is all good. Remember, again, business is booming. I got the money, right? I'm going to get the catches. We win a Super Bowl. This past offseason, Antonio Brown was the last person that they brought back. They signed everybody else, and Antonio Brown was the last one they brought back. Why? Because, again, Bruce Arians did not want to deal with it. But Tom Brady, bring him back. Let's run it back again. Okay, so now we're going to bring him back. Just a couple of weeks ago, it was reported that Antonio Brown, agent, asked, matter of fact, it wasn't just a couple of weeks. Yes, it was. Matter of fact, it was last week before he did the incident up there against the Jets. Antonio Brown's agent came to the ownership of Tampa and said, hey, we want to turn those incentives, that $2 million in incentives, we want to turn that into a guarantee for the remainder of the season. Tampa Bay said, nope, we ain't going to do it. Because remember now, let's think about everything Antonio Brown has done this year. A fake COVID vaccination card, which would have never came out, by the way, had he paid a chef $1,500. Bruh, all this money you making, but you don't want to pay nobody, right?
Hey, he don't believe in coming up no cash.
He ain't coming up off them funds for nothing. But he wants you to give him, he wants you to give him free whatever. He wants you to render services, but he don't want to pay for those services. So when the fake vaccination card came out, again, this is what Tampa thought about it, right? What Tampa should have did, right? They should have went on ahead and they should have cut his behind then. No, we gonna bring him back. Because that go to show you, again, where you talent outweighs everything else. So for talent, we're going to coddle you. What did Brady say? See, Bruce Arians has been ready to get rid of him. But it goes to show you a man with 7 Super Bowl rings, what type of weight he carries in that organization. So Brady said, we need him. Then Chris Godwin goes down with a torn MCL, right? Mike Evans has been in and out the lineup because of injuries. So they bring him back. They were like, no, we ain't going to cut him. We just going to suspend him. He's going to come on back. So he comes back. Now, mind you, Antonio Brown had 3 separate clauses, incentive clauses in his contract entering last Sunday's game. He needed I think 50 yards or something like that to get $333,000. He needed a certain amount of catches. I think he needed to score 2 more touchdowns or something like that. So he basically was playing last week. If he would have reached all of that, Antonio Brown would have got $1 million sent to his bank account, right? So Antonio Brown, again, allegedly, is stated that they was trying to get him the football. Now he's saying that he told everybody he had a bum ankle. Ankle has been acting up, doing the regular season, not regular season, but this whole year, last week doing practice. He said that he exchanged texts with Bruce Arians, all this and that, right? But then he comes into last Sunday's game. Brady is trying to get this man the football so that way he can make his money. Because remember, just a week prior in Carolina, and for those who don't know, I live in the North Carolina region, right? So, of course, because I'm cheap and I'm not paying for NFL Sunday ticket, I am forced to watch a lot of the Carolina Panthers game. I watched Tampa Bay against Carolina. Antonio Brown had 10 catches in that ball game. He was moving like it wasn't no problem, right? So then last Sunday against the Jets, Antonio Brown gets upset because Gronk all of a sudden is winning his one-on-one matchups. He goes to the sideline. He tells Tom Brady, oh, so now you back to throwing your boy Gronk the ball. Then all of a sudden, oh my God, the ankle is hurt. I can't go in, coach. That's inhumane, coach. You making me go back in the game and play, coach. So Mike Evans, the Pro Bowl wide receiver before Antonio Brown got there, whose numbers have declined since Antonio Brown got there. Mike Evans ain't complained all season long, right? And Mike Evans wanted Antonio Brown there. He goes over, he tried to calm this dude down. He don't want to do it. So then Antonio Brown takes off the jersey and the shoulder pads, throws it to the bench, takes off the shirt, takes off the gloves and all this other stuff, throws it up. He runs off the field, but as he's running off the field, hey, let me stop and do some jumping jacks, right? Let me run on off the field and throw up the deuces. But then the very next day, hey, I got bone chips in my ankle. I got structural damage in my ankle. But then we see you sitting up at a Nets game the next night. Sunglasses on. Hey, ain't a problem. Then you gonna post football is not who I am. It's what I do. But damn, football has put a lot of money and money in your pocket and a lot of food on your table. So this whole thing about mental health, man, let's stop with that, man. I'm so tired of people running to mental health whenever some of these athletes are out here just acting a fool. See, it wasn't mental health the week before when you was getting what you wanted. Now it's mental health when you don't get your way. Mental health don't work like that. Y'all want to know how I know? Because I'm actually in therapy for what we call behavioral health, which falls underneath the mental health library. So this thing has been going on all this time. So, Nick, this is what I'm going to say. And I'm sorry for taking up all this time on the subject, but I'm going to ask you this. Is it really mental health? Or is it mental health when we don't get what we want?
Okay, so let's really dig deep into this, which when I'm going to take the mental health argument, okay?
Okay.
A lot of people point to a hit that Antonio Brown took against Cincinnati, right? Which was a vicious hit, a dirty hit. And I don't understand why the guy is still in the league for that hit.
You're talking about the Vontaze Burfict hit. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was a vicious hit, right?
Yep.
A lot of people say after that hit, Antonio Brown was not the same.
Okay.
So after that hit, his behavior changed. Before that hit, he was a stellar receiver, did everything, dressed right, didn't have any problem with him. That's what people are arguing. Okay. Mental health, you never know what form it's going to come in, right? You can go to different situations, different people. Everybody handles it differently.
Okay.
Right. So I can't say that it is or isn't mental health um, because of his actions.
Okay.
Here's what I mean by that. Um, all I can say is, based off of that hit, things have changed. Now, my problem is this though. If he understood, you know, what happened behind the hit, why didn't he seek help?
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem I have with the whole argument, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So why didn't you seek help? Okay, got it. I really don't know that I'm in this situation. Okay, just saying that from his eyes. I don't know that I'm in a situation.
Right.
Okay, who do you have in your camp, and why are they not telling you, hey, look, I got somebody you can talk to, or hey, look, let me sit down. You messing up money. You doing this. All right. You probably need to try and talk to somebody. Right. That's why it's important to have people in your camp that you can trust and really
Yes,
care
sir.
about you.
Yes, sir.
Right.
AKA get rid of all the yes men.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? Guess what's going to happen? As soon as you are out the limelight,
Yeah.
right, or you go broke, everybody is gone.
There you go.
Everybody is gone.
I'm gone. Yep.
And if you one of them yes men, and
Yes.
that's your
Yes.
cash cow and that's your money,
Yes.
why are you not like, okay, it's more beneficial for me if I ensure that he's on point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just seems like,
Mm-hmm.
people don't do that.
Right.
But going back to his situation, that's the problem I have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if it is mental health, why wasn't it addressed earlier? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now, let's just say that it was mental health and he did address it. It's something out there saying, look, after that hit, you know, I realized XYZ and I needed to, go through mental health.
Right.
Right. But now, because you didn't, do that, you just dingling that out there, and people are saying, well, it could be this, but we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now it's more like, okay, you're just a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they have to go off of.
Yep.
All they have to go off of is, okay, you're a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
The behavior that you exhibited on the field, right? We can't let this, go without some type of reprimand, either through media,
Yeah.
you know, through your contract, everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything is not going to work out well for you.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Tom Brady situation, and he did do an interview and he tried to present his side of the story.
He did.
Right? He tried to present his side of the story. He's tried to say that, he had a bum ankle and the ankle needs surgery and yada yada yada, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But everybody know, once you step on that field, you make that decision to play or not play. You
That's
make
there
that
you go,
decision.
man. Yes. Yeah, there you go.
So if
Absolutely.
you choose to get the cortisone shot and shoot up your ankle and
Hey.
you know just do what you got to do,
Mm-hmm.
that's the decision you made, and you got to ride or die on it, man.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't afterwards say, I had a bum ankle and I told him it was hurting and this, that, and the third, because that doesn't excuse the behavior that you exhibited.
Yes, sir.
That does not
Yeah.
excuse you ripping off your shoulder pads, throwing it, and having a temper tantrum, having
Ridiculous, man.
having a fit like a little baby. That doesn't excuse that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you have to understand what you did, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have to understand what you did was wrong. You have to do some self-reflection.
Mm-hmm.
And with him, I think he don't have the people in his corner telling him, you know what, I love you, man, but you messed up. He had people who using him for stuff, just like
Mm-hmm.
your boy Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
felt AB felt used. He said basically Tom came in, hey, you the man, we need you for a Super Bowl. You my friend, come stay at my house, eat my food, hey, meet my family. To him, he like, yo, me and Tom, man, we tight. Not knowing Tom is like, you know what? I need another ring, man.
So let me push back on that just a little bit. Let me push back on that a little bit.
Okay,
So
let's get into it.
I hear what you're saying on that. Do I agree with you on that all the way? I'm gonna say yes and no. Yeah, the yes part that I agree with is that did Tom Brady need this man to win another ring? Yeah, he did. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like AB came in and did his thing and he helped out, right? But if you're Antonio Brown, you got to know that this is a business, right? Because like it's kind of the same thing of saying this. So when Jordan retired the first time, right? And it was Scotty's team. And then when Jordan came back 18 months later and they got put out of the playoffs, right? By Orlando, right? And that what was that, the 94 season? Yeah, the 94 season when they lost to Orlando in the playoffs. The very next year, the Bulls went out and got Dennis Rodman. Now we all know Dennis Rodman was the dude that was putting Mike on his behind when Mike would go to the cup, right? Rodman, James Edward, Bill Lambier, all those, they would put Mike on his behind. So they went out and they got Dennis Rodman. Why did they go get Dennis Rodman? They weren't best of friends, right? They wasn't at the house chilling, going to the kids, schools and family events. They went and got Dennis Rodman because they said, "Hey, Dennis Rodman can help us win a championship or multiple championships. We know the baggage that Dennis Rodman had in the past, but we're willing to overlook that as because Jordan, hey Mike, we know that you can control Dennis Rodman because you are the alpha in the room,
But let
right?
me ask you. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Okay, so check this out. You bring up Dennis Rodman, but Jordan or Pippen didn't come. Matter of fact, Pippen didn't even want him to come. He had a real heartburn with it.
He
But
didn't. That's what I'm saying.
Jordan was like, okay, yeah, bring him on. But Jordan, right,
Okay.
never said, you know what, Dennis, hey, come stay at the crib with me,
Exactly.
right? But
Exactly.
and that's the point that I'm making though. Tom took ABN on a different level. Like,
He did.
okay, he took him in and saying, you know what, this is deeper than football. Because if you
Mhm.
have someone staying at your crib,
Yes.
it's deeper than football.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So Tom brought AB in, like, hey, look, it's deeper than football. You stayed at the crib. I really care about you. Yada yada yada. And I say it's something similar to this. Okay,
Okay.
you go out, you get you a girl, right?
Hmm.
You loving her up. You like, yo, I got plans, I got dreams for you know our future.
Hmm.
Okay, you loving her up. Then next thing you know, she find out it ain't gonna happen because you married, right?
Mm.
You
Mm.
see what I'm saying?
So you using the example. That's what we call the Effie treatment. Remember off of Dream Girls? You know what I'm saying? When Jamie Foxx was with Jennifer Hudson, Effie, and he loving Effie down, this and that. Meanwhile, all at the same time, he had his eyes on who?
You already know.
There you go. Uh-huh. So yeah, I know what you're saying. I get it. But I'm just gonna say this, man. Like, again, though, and I'm not saying that Tom Brady is perfect. I'm not saying that at all, man, because there's no
I,
perfect person.
wait, hey, can you repeat that? Repeat that for the
I'm
viewers,
not
please.
saying at all that Tom Brady is perfect. And again, for those that are watching the show and listening to the show, y'all already know how Nick feels about Tom Brady. It's Jets till he die. Now, if Tom Brady came to the New York Jets, I bet you Nick would not be saying that same stuff. So anyway, right, right. So man, look, I'm just saying this. Antonio Brown still should have known that this was all about business at the end of the day. Yeah, he in Tom Brady's house. Brady done introduced him to Alex Guerrero, his personal trainer. He giving him all like, he trying to take care of him, this and that, yada, yada, yada. Provide him, trying to strike up a friendship with him. You make sure, hey, we trust each other, this and that, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, it still goes back to like what you said. Antonio Brown could have been right in everything that he said. Everything, right? But you do not exit the field in that manner. You don't do that.
100% agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because see, now he's up here talking about business is booming and he can't wait to get on the field next season. Come on, man. Now, will he get another opportunity? I'm pretty sure he will. I'm pretty sure he will. Because if the Dallas Cowboys signed Greg Hardy after what Greg Hardy did, anything is possible.
The amount of viewers what Greg Hardy did.
What Greg Hardy did, Greg Hardy was a defensive end for the Carolina Panthers. Greg Hardy allegedly, I don't know if he was ever found guilty in the situation, but Greg Hardy, but matter of fact, I think he was found guilty in the situation. He had a domestic violence situation where he threw his girlfriend on a couch, had guns and stuff all out there on the couch. He physically abused his girlfriend. Carolina let him go. Dallas signed him. Greg Hardy did not pan out while he was in Dallas, right? Then Greg Hardy ended up going, I don't know if he's in I don't think he's in the UFC. I think he's like in MMA and everything right now, like Bellator or something like that, one of those divisions of that hand-to-hand, like fighting league, stuff like that. But it just go to show you that anything is possible because once again, these billionaire owners are shelving out millions of dollars because why? Talent allows you to be coddled. And Jerry Jones said, hey, here's a great guy. Well, not a great guy, but here's a great player. We can use him in Dallas. He can help us on the defensive line because at the time, two of Dallas defensive ends, I believe Randy Gregory was one of them, if I'm not mistaken, kept getting in trouble with substance abuse. So you're trying to plug in holes with people that are out there. So with this whole Antonio Brown situation, you still got to be smarter at the end of the day to understand, hey, this is a business. Brady wants me here to help win a Super Bowl ring, something that I don't have. So I come in, I do what I need to do. Is Tom Brady using me? Yeah. Is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers using me? Yes. Because if you were a guy that didn't have no talent, they wouldn't sign you. But also at the same time, Antonio Brown, are you using them? Yes. How are you using them? You come in, you do your work, you go to the crib, you go score your touchdowns, you get your catches, you win a Super Bowl. You didn't have to agree to the deal that Tampa Bay offered you on the table to bring you back. You didn't have to. If you felt that that was below market value, Antonio Brown could be at the crib chilling. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. Because, see, at one point in time, it was Antonio Brown that said in an interview that he good with money. He don't need the NFL money. But you see that when the NFL money came knocking, he sure enough didn't turn it down either. When he was sitting up in his house on that ESPN interview talking about he living in a 30,000 square feet home, he in a mansion, all this and that. He don't need the NFL money. They gonna play by his rules. But he didn't turn it down when they came knocking.
Oh, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, does he have the right to feel that he was used? Yeah, the man has the right to feel how he wants to feel because he's a human being. We understand that. But this whole thing about saying, why is Tom Brady my friend? Why? Because I catch touchdowns from him. Well, hell, he brought you in there because Brady is the reason why you were signed in Tampa. They didn't want to do it. So now you're pushing this all off on Brady like this is all Brady. No, man, don't do that. You're deflecting. This was all on you. And like you said, if he was truly hurt as bad as he was, when he go to Bruce Arians and tell Bruce Arians, hey coach, I can't get in the game, I can't go this and that. Because see, again, now remember when all this happened. This didn't happen in the first half. Right?
The Jets was laying the bombs on him. That's what.
This happened in the third quarter. Because remember, at halftime, he, being AB that I'm talking about, was in the locker room upset because he wasn't getting the targets. So that tells you AB knew going into that, hey, bro, you need 9 catches. You're going to get $1 million. You're going to get $333,000. You need 65, 85 yards. You need 2 touchdowns. You walking up out of here getting $1 million.
But so, but you know what though? I think the heartburn I have with everyone saying, you know, it's behind the catches and everything, is that no one was really there to hear the conversation of what happened or what was said between Tom Brady.
That's very true.
Or what happened in the locker room prior to them coming out. So we really don't know what the conversation was.
Yep.
We don't really know his mind frame at the time. And that goes back to what I was saying about, you know, his mental health. We really don't know. And again, if he needed help prior to the situation, it would have provided a whole lot more clarity on the situation, right? And then they could have addressed it appropriately as a team, right? But again, but you are 100% correct. The NFL is a business, man.
Yes, sir. It's business.
So you're not gonna mess up their money. You're not gonna mess up a billionaire money.
No, sir.
Right? And if you become a problem, you're gonna get, you know, escorted to the door quickly.
Yes.
So he's been in several situations where he should have known. You know, there's snakes in the grass. Right? Regardless of who you think is your friend, you can't trust anyone.
Because why? Because we're all trying to feed our families at the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
man,
Brady got a brand that he needs to protect. And he's going to do everything to protect it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he should have understood, right? Okay, he's doing all this stuff for me, but I know he has an agenda behind what he's doing.
Yes, Lord.
You know, and some people are just, you know, free-hearted like that. They just open themselves up and then just repeatedly get their heart smashed and broken. You know, never learn from their lessons. And I think AB is one of those people. You know, he's one of those people who just puts himself in certain situations and, you know, it just doesn't go well for him.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't go well for him.
Absolutely.
Hey, but it was a pleasure talking to you, man.
Yes, sir, man.
As always.
Yeah. Now, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but let me say this, man. So everybody know where I'm coming from, and I mean this when I speak from the heart, man. I hope that Antonio Brown is able to find happiness in everything that he's trying to do. But also, if it truly is a mental health situation, I really hope that Antonio Brown gets the help that he needs. Because what the last thing that we wanted to end up being is a situation, you know, 2-3 years down the line, you know what I mean? Antonio Brown brings harm to himself. You don't want to see that happen to nobody. Regardless if you still catching touchdowns and making people cheer, making people boo, you want this man to be able to enjoy his life because he's got kids he's got to raise. So I hope that Antonio Brown gets all the help that he needs if it truly is a mental health situation and he continues to live a great and productive life.
No doubt. No doubt. Well said. Well said. Well said. Hey, let the viewers know what you got going on one more time so they know what to look out for.
Yeah, man. So y'all be on the lookout, man, for all the viewers and everything. Again, man, number one, let's continue to support On the Block with Nick. Continue to subscribe. Nick is doing a great thing with his show, man. As for me, I will have my own show coming out very soon. I will let everybody know when it comes out. It's going to be a podcast as well and everything. So working on that and following my brother's lead, man. You know, he, like I said, he put his foot out there first, so he's taking the lead, and I'm following behind him, man. So like again, this is nothing but friendly competition between two brothers, man. And we trying to big up each other, and that's exactly what we should be doing here in 2022 and years going forward, man. So y'all will be hearing from me, man, very soon. Like I said, you'll have a lot of emotions listening to me. So I'm gonna make you laugh, I'm gonna make you cry, I'm gonna make you cuss me out. You're gonna think I'm crazy. But look, I appreciate all the love either way it go, and continue to support On the Block with Nick. Continue to support. That's the only way, man, we're gonna get our voices on out there. So y'all continue to do that.
All right, for sure, man, for sure.
Yes, sir.
And definitely we're gonna have you back to break that news when you're up and running and ready to go, so we can again have everybody support you.
Appreciate it, man.
Future endeavors.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. This is it, man. We about to leave the block, man. Hey, the block is hot, so we going. All right.
Yes, sir.